Hi. Happy Monday. Hi, Scent. How are you? So, when last we played this, we attempted to slay this princess. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times? I don't know. Alright, so for those of you that weren't here on Thursday, Slay the Princess is basically the Stanley Parable meets Doki Doki Literature Club, and then they got together and had a really weird baby. So, we are told we need to slay this princess. And then weird things happen. And then we start back at the beginning. And the narrator doesn't know that we're restarting again. Or doesn't acknowledge that we're restarting again. And gets very confused when we say that we are. And yeah. So don't worry that you're coming in, because we're going to have to start from the beginning again. It's just already going to be weird. Alright, load game. Here we go. Everything went dark and we died. That's how it ended on Thursday. And we're back to chapter 1, the hero and the princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
The end of the world? What are you talking about? I think we're going to have to go with that one.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
But how can a princess locked away in the basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Killing a princess seems kind of bad though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
It is true, I do play the weirdest games. Okay, I'm sold. Let's get this over with.
Good. As long as you remain focused on your goal, it should all be smooth sailing. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
You've got a bad feeling about this? I mean, she's probably gonna die, maybe.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
You're just playing a game about a female bounty hunter who is trained by bird people, loses her ability in every game she's in, and the name is based off Metro Android. Oh, see, totally normal. See, Mal plays normal games too.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Do I want the blade? Sure, we'll take the blade. Why not?
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
In we go.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
The other game is about an Italian plumber fighting a dragon turtle who is turned into a kaiju-sized cat covered in black slime, and we have to collect shiny cats to defeat him before we fight him against a giant gold cat. That's a lot of cats. Yeah.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
It's called Bowser's a Furry.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
I'm going to continue down the stairs without talking.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Or something? Nuh-uh.
Then drop the knife.
We should. It'll go a long way to building trust with her. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
That's true. A game called Final Fantasy that has 16 numbered entries is not normal either. Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
It's like the fact that X Fast and Furious are made by a company called Original Films. Oh, that's actually kind of funny.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
How long have you been down here?
Too long.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Do you know why I'm here to kill you? Nah. There's people out there who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Nope. I was hoping you'd tell me.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
Narrator is totally backseating.
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Whoops. Sorry. How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
Rude.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting.
Oh, she totally
Right?
is.
She is. I'm sure of it.
Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Slay the princess.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Let's try to finish the job.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here, either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job.
Hello, Ari.
Yeah.
How are you? Yeah, Jammy's got her stabby emote out there. She's ready. You is happy? Work is over. Yes.
The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Right in the cleavage.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
Yeah, poor boobies.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder. Do you really think this is the end?
At this point, I have no idea.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Adversary.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Yes, Ari. To catch you up, this game is the Stanley Parable, and Doki Doki Literature Club had a baby. The end. Yeah, it's basically Groundhog Day. So going with Ari's response here, we're going to go with this option. I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu.
A terrible sense of deja vu? No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. That's fine. It doesn't matter if he can hear us. The only thing that matters is marching up to that cabin and winning.
Oh, we got stubborn voice this time.
That's the spirit. There's no point in squabbling when the real threat is just up that hill.
This is more than just deja vu, though. I'm pretty sure this whole thing literally just happened.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. Like I said, we've just met for the first time, you and I.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth and all this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine. I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving.
Oh, hit the button.
Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We did our best with the information we were given. And we did kill her. And yet you still died, didn't you? So congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We killed the princess killed us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left? Ugh, enough with the talking. We've got a fight to win. Nothing else matters. I couldn't agree more. The cabin and your destined confrontation with the princess awaits.
Alright, proceed to the cabin. Here we go.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that?
The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear? Crystal. Let's just get on with it already.
Proceed. Ooh, Mal's got LA Noir. Nice.
The cabin is tighter
Oh, it
than
looks
its exterior
different.
would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
See? Even the cabin has the right idea. Let's get moving.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
This whole cabin is different than last time.
Very different.
Hey, look, it's the mirror that isn't actually there, right?
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. The world is depending on you.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Well, at least we're not talking about bridges. Right? How are you? We're going to ignore the mirror and enter the basement. Pretty sure the princess beat us like a government. Yeah, pretty much.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulfuric odor to it.
Excuse me.
If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Oh, hi, Java. We killed the princess, but she also killed us, and now we're here. Sulfuric odor smells like farts. It totally does.
Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Here we go.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been
we've
ages
got
since
the
I've
dark
had a good
red writing.
fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view.
Oh, she's got
A large
horns
shackle
and a tail.
leading from her wrist to the basement wall.
She looks different.
Looks like she could rip those chains
and
out of the wall
hooves,
without
yes.
a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us.
Thanks.
And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
Thanks. I hope you heard all of that, Mr. Narrator. This is a lot different than the last time. But last time definitely happened.
Okay, fine. Let's say for a moment I believe you. For all we know, whatever happened to you last time was just a fluke, and beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember what happened last time.
Are you okay?
Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
Is that what's happening? I'm not saying I'm not here to fight, but I think the two of us have a few things to unpack first, like how we're both still alive.
What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There. Unpacking done. Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You look different.
You look exactly the same.
I think she does too, Mal. I really do. So you do remember me.
Oh, I remember you all right. Best 3 minutes of my life. So, why don't we do it again?
Oh.
See? She wants to fight us
3
again.
minutes.
There's no reason for us to stand around talking.
Alright, let's attack the princess.
Finally ready to complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess. Here we go. Let's make this count. Oh, we'll make it count, all right. As you bridge the gap, your blade slashes across the princess's chest, splitting skin and drawing a jagged line of bright red blood. But she's unfazed by your onslaught. Her expression barely changes as her fist collides with your ribs, cracking them like twigs and driving you right back down to the basement floor. You can hear her chains snap as you struggle to recover from the impact. She almost looks disappointed in us. Why is she disappointed in us?
She looks like that because she's very, horny. There, I said it.
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you? That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me. It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point? So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win. She's huge, but that probably means she's slower than us. Take it slow, think it through, and don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action. Don't listen to them. She understands something that they don't. The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her.
Let's bait an opening and outmaneuver her.
You push yourself off the ground and attack the princess, trying to bait an opening. You do your best to outplay her, slashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress. But you have little room to maneuver. For every glancing blow you manage to land, she slams you against the wall in retaliation, each impact threatening to be the last. This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her. She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think overpowering her is a little out of the question.
Someone did play Resident Evil Village and wants Lady D to step on them.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place, and I own you.
The princess's arm shoots forward, her palm wrapping around your head, fingers gripping your skull.
How disappointing.
She squeezes, pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is the unsettling crack of your skull and the sickening churn of what was your grey matter.
Gross.
Everything goes dark,
And you die.
And we die. Chapter 3, The Eye of the Needle.
You're on a path in the woods.
Now
If you
we're
weren't so
woods.
damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there.
Yeah, she was like all of their marketing for 1/4 of the game. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They knew what they were doing. I liked Heisenberg's factory, though.
Fear is good. Fear keeps us alive. We died because you didn't have enough of it. So what? You'd have us cower in a corner? No, but that place suits her better than it suits us. She's big. We can't hope to find holes and openings down there. We need more room if we're going to survive.
Hi, Freya. Yeah, notifications suck sometimes. They really do. But I'm glad you're here. We've died twice. That's all you've missed.
Are you suggesting luring her into the woods? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If you lose sight of her, if she manages to slip away, that's it. Game over for everyone, yourself included.
If you're getting sold giant lady porn and you get cyberpunk robots, people might be a bit miffed. Maybe, yes. Oh, did you work from home again? Lord Falconis, are you on your way home? I'm not going to fall for it this time.
Are you not challenging us on all the looping? Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've been talking to since the beginning? Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. We've never met. Then what is going on? What's going on is that you'd only be saying the things you've been saying if you'd already been here. And if you'd already seen things you weren't supposed to have seen. It doesn't matter. We could go in circles forever. I don't like staying still for too long. Let's get to the cabin, see this through. It's good to know that at least one of you is still capable of reason. We may have the same destination, but we're not the same. You are still an other. And I don't trust you.
I don't trust you.
Well, fortunately, you have an entire trip through the woods to reconsider that. There's nothing to reconsider. We're all for violence here. Are we? I haven't signed off on anything yet. Violence is the answer here, but the method is equally important to the act. You can't let her leave the cabin. It's like I said, all just circles. Instinct tells me we need space, and I trust instinct. Nothing else to say. Not for me.
I choose violins. We're gonna have an orchestra. No matter what happens next, it seems like all our answers are in the cabin. We might as well see this through.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up the hill at the cabin. I hope you've given serious thought to your predicament. No last advice for us? No words of warning? From what I gather, you've heard it all before. There's no use screaming into the wind. I don't know, screaming sounds pretty good right about now. I could use a little catharsis.
Ah! Sorry.
Catharsis is for when we're finished.
We're screaming into the
Now,
wind.
we need to hold it out in front of us, something to chase. The interior of the cabin is suffocatingly tight.
What?
More of a glorified tunnel than a building. Its stone walls squeeze against your sides, leaving you no choice but to press forward. The only furniture of note is an iron altar jutting out from the wall, a pristine blade perched on its edge.
And the mirror, there's no doorway, just a mirror.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. See? We have even less space than before. We need space or she'll kill us. And the only space is out there. Take it!
But there's no way forward. There's a mirror at the end of the room, and that's it.
A mirror? But there is no mirror. There's the iron altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. But there isn't a door. There is. Circles, circles, all of it circles. There's something for us at the end of the room. The what and the why don't matter until we know them. I agree with the freak. Let's get a move on already. And worst comes to worst, we can smash it.
Alright, take the blade.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. There's no overcoming her without it. We need every part of us to survive, and that steel claw is as much a part of us as any. You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it, as if you don't see it. You're rather committed to the bit, aren't you? The door's right there, it's right in front of you.
No, that's a mirror.
It's a bit grimy. Why don't we wipe it clean?
Let's smash it.
You bring your fist crashing down against the door leading to the basement. It swings open, scraping against the floor as it reveals the dim path ahead. Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face. There are enough footholds that you'll be able to clamber your way to the bottom, but it will require careful effort.
That was disturbing. I did, Ari. I totally did.
The air hissing up from below is warm and wet, like the breath of an enemy locked in close quarters. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, bold and fierce and impatient, echoes from the chamber below.
Do you have more fight in you than last time? That was such a disappointing show. I know you can do better than that.
Goad her. Rile her up. If she's angry, she'll make mistakes.
You're just here to scream and screech at me. That's fair. If you want to fight, then how about you come and get one?
That's not how this works. I'm all chained up, remember? How about you come down here and fight me?
Those chains were nothing to her last time. And they'll be nothing to her this time. But we need to show ourselves first to make her boil over. Fine by me. You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by grueling foot. But soon, there is solid ground beneath you. Remember every crack and crevice. We'll need to be faster than her.
That one was weird. Where do you find these things? Oh. Meow. Hi, Richie. Clearly you have bits to burn, this is true. And a cocoa to troll. And those two just go so well together.
You turn to face what lies at the end of the narrow tunnel.
They got larger.
Imposing and tightly muscled, grins back at you from the darkness.
I mean, her horns and her tail, of course. Yes, she has also a CT scare.
Her face widens into a broad grin.
There you are, knife in hand. How thrilling. Attack me, bleed me, twist the blade in my flesh. Break your bones against my body. I want a real challenge this time.
Her dress got a little dirty last time. It might be.
We can't get that close. She'll kill us in the tight space, steel claw or not. Make her come to us, stand beyond her chains, and let her become frenzied. She'll break them. Then we run.
This one has gone way into the monster porn territory. It really has.
I really don't like the sound of this. It's the only way we live.
Well, what are you waiting for? If we're going to do this right, you can't be scared. You need to want this as much as I do. So go on. Make the first move. Don't keep me waiting.
We're gonna step closer, stopping just outside her chains.
You step forward, stopping just outside the reach of her chains. The princess scoffs.
Oh, you're up to something tricky, aren't you? You're teasing me with what I want, but I'm sick of waiting. I'm not going to let you give me another bad fight. I'm going to get what I want.
Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward, ignoring her chains as they bend and snap. Run.
She did the bend and snap? Sorry.
Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and scramble up the ledge towards the tunnel entrance. As you near the top, hands desperately clawing at jagged stone, you glance back. The princess is right on your heels. She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rabid pursuit.
I mean, that's what the narrator said, Jemmy, right? She did the bend and snap.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
Good. You reach the ledge and hoist yourself up into the tunnel, the cabin door finally in sight, at once within your grasp and infinitely distant.
What is all of this for? What's the point? You and I are always going to end in violence, so why bother to run? I know what I am. Why can't you be the same?
I mean, the hair whips back and forth naturally on the bend and snap, so yes.
Little bird, where do you think you're going?
We're almost there. Don't think about almost. We're there when we're there. And we'll take the fight with us. Your skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass. You glance back at the cabin as the princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. You are walking a dangerous path. If you waver once, it's all over. So get it right.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think this is better for you? Do you think this space gives you an edge? Then show me. Show me that you've been worth all the room you've taken up in my head.
Do it. Be swift, strike true, be where she's not. Let your body move you.
Slay the princess.
You leap from the grass and bound towards the princess, keeping low.
Charging me head on. Brave and foolish.
Her body braces for impact, anticipating the clash.
Why she got those feet? Just a knife, I swear. Just a knife.
That's where you're both wrong. Left, now.
I mean, she's also got a tail and horns, Ari. Are we ignoring that?
As the princess strikes, your body swerves to the left. She overextends, stumbling as her balance shifts unexpectedly. Strike. Before you can finish the thought, you lash out, the blade slicing through her leg. She turns to swing again. Right. You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as clean. You can feel a bruise already blooming where her elbow crashed into flesh. It's nothing. A scratch. Yes, it could be worse. And you managed to gift her another cut in return. I'll be damned. We're actually going to pull this off, aren't we?
It's a very large thigh. It is, really is.
You just might. But don't let it get to your head. Not until it's over.
Yes, finally! This is the hole I felt in my heart. This is what I've needed. This is what I've been missing. This is how it always needed to end. Both of us giving it our all, beating and bleeding each other to death.
Yeah, lady, you have a problem.
The two of you engage in a devastating flurry of blows, each of you wounding the other again and again. She's stronger, but you're faster, and the deeper the both of you fall into your lethal dance, the more your edge shines over hers. She's slowing down, blood pouring from wounds, splattering at her feet, leaving her weak and unsteady. More! Keep going! We can't stop now! You spy an opening, but this time she's waiting for you. She lets you sink the blade deep, trapping you in place long enough to wrap you in her impenetrable arms. You're slammed to the ground. Nothing! These blows are nothing to us! But her gambit wasn't enough to close the gap. It wasn't enough to kill you. She stares you down, coughing up a splash of blood as she gasps for breath.
You've outplayed me, haven't you?
We're not dead yet.
Something feels wrong. Something.
And? Then what happens?
Oh my god, the hands. But you do not have the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
It's going to be okay. Just trust me. We've been here before and you always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. That thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
I'll see you on the other side. It's going to be okay.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. I'd like to be somewhere nice.
Maybe there'll be a good fight there. Maybe we'll find her again.
You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. Oh. We've withered. We're decaying. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. You are at the cabin.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new. And to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
Can you make a request? Sure. Next time we let her out. I'm sure it's fine. Sure, we can do that. How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
We will know when we near our destination.
Well, that's vague. You can't be a contradiction. Contradictions don't exist.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
How can you stand to be a contradiction?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
Doesn't matter how many times I go back, at least one of us always hurts the other. Doesn't that change you? Doesn't that make you worse?
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
If anything, it makes me like you more. I don't know what that says about me.
It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion.
Alright, let's go back.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Everything goes dark and we die. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the... You're here
Skipping ahead. Let's just go to the cabin.
You make your way up the shore. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is ablaze as your...
Alright, we're just gonna enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
I'm here to save you.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
I'll see what I can do.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake.
No, you're doing the right thing.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug.
A lot, Ari. I don't think you can get them all in one playthrough.
They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
And if there isn't a key, do you have any other ideas?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance.
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Is someone else here?
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. Your shouts and pleas are met with silence.
Rar.
Roar! Hi, Raynar! Thank you for the resub. I appreciate it. that scared me just a little bit. How are you?
You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
Hey, they said it right, Mal. They said whom, not who. You're okay. Good. You missed it. What happens? Oh, we haven't actually let her out yet. We're working towards it. But they said easier for whom? Who? Where's the owl? No owls here.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely
there we
hesitates
go.
before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess!
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
Yes, because Mal requested that we let her out.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground.
Rhythmically.
How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
No!
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Look at all these options. Warn her. Oh, I can't warn her. It's grayed out. Alright, I choose the last one.
Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end. You bring the blade down to strike at the princess's heart. But she's fast. She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside. Slaying her won't be easy now that she's free.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just lying to me this whole time? I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that?
Nope.
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart.
Yeah, she's big mad now.
It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh.
Oh, she's biting us? No!
You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world. It can't just end like this, right?
Oh no, we'll go in a time loop and we'll do it again. It's fine.
As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark,
And you die.
and you die.
Chapter 2, The Witch.
You're on a path in the woods.
Okay,
You're
we've
here
seen
to
this
slay
before.
her.
Proceed.
A warning. Before you go, she will lie. She will. Don't worry.
Ooh, the
You can trust us
opportunist
to get the
now.
job done. The interior of the cabin is a mix of twisted roots. The walls are chaotic, weaving, almost as if by accident, just happens to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
Thank you, Raynar. Alright. I think I did. I think I did. That was a good one.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Nope, we're gonna go without it
No
again.
blade. Hope you know what you're getting us into.
Can't believe the narrator cheated, right?
It'll always be here if we need it. Sure, that was also true last time and we still died, but we definitely know what we're doing this time.
Sure we do.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair.
This looks like a very Scorn-like room.
The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs.
Ugh.
Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
You just bit me the last time, lady. You're gonna bite. I'm not nasty.
But you are. You're a wretched little thing. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly.
Words of
enough.
a
Maybe we
good
can talk our
friend.
way out of this whole situation.
bite me.
Bite me.
You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk?
Apparently it was. I don't know. No, it wasn't just the word bite. It was the phrase bite me. Automod caught it for being a sexually explicit term. But yeah, whatever. Twitch is weird. Ah! Thank you for gifting the sub to Richie Raynar. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's phrasing. It's all about the phrasing.
You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine. You're the boss. Thank you.
Oh, she looks
You
evil.
descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below.
She has claws and a big fluffy tail this time.
You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, once again seeming to offer a helping hand while likely hiding the other behind your back. Fine, I'll play along for now. What do you want?
She's acting like the two of you already know each other.
Because we do.
Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you?
Ooh, fluffy.
That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true.
It is reductive reason, yes.
I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this.
A few
My
moments
will is on the
later.
line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her.
Oh.
Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
Let's see. Look, I know. Things got messy last time, but I think there's something bigger than both of us at work. We should team up.
I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all, and unfortunately you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it.
Should we, though?
Do you know what the word
That is a
mutually
big bag
means?
of
Because
nope.
it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
It is a big bag of nope. I didn't bring my blade down, remember? How am I supposed to get you out of the chains?
Oh, I don't need you to cut me out.
The princess grins as the chains fall from
What?
her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
Okay, let's leave.
Yes, let's.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face. She never breaks eye contact, even as the two of you find yourselves face to face. She's silent for a long moment, as if testing to see what you'll do now that she's within arm's reach.
After you, darling. You're the one it lets come and go. It's best if I follow.
Oh no, we can't have that. If anyone is going to turn their back on anyone else, she's going to turn her back on us. It shouldn't matter who leads and who follows. We're working together here. Well, if it doesn't matter, then she can go first. We may be in this together, but that doesn't mean we have to trust her. Somebody has to go first, and it might as well be us. We're the ones who broke her trust last time.
We're all in this together.
You're talking a lot about trusting someone who, by her very definition, cannot be trusted. I don't know how many more warnings I have to dole out, but if you help her out of here, you're going to regret it.
You first.
And turn my back on you? Do you think me a fool? Your tricks are one of the only things I've known, and I've learned better by now.
Just go first.
You're the one who said you can't leave here without me, which means I hold all the cards. Either you go first or we stay here. Up to you.
The princess leans close, her nose twitching as she sniffs your neck inquisitorially.
What is she doing? I think she's trying to figure out if we're lying, so it's a good thing we didn't lie.
Your stink is the stink of a wretch, but not of a liar. If I have to go first, I'll go first. But I'll have you know my ears are sharp, and I've got eyes on the back of my head. They'll be watching.
Eyes on the back of her head? Does she really?
We're gonna hope that's a figure of speech. She is gonna fart in front of us.
No, we're fine.
The princess pointedly turns her back on you and starts up the stairs. You follow close behind her, the two of you walking on tiptoes through the knotted roots of the basement stairs.
We're almost there. You better not try anything. I know you're thinking it.
Us? No, never. Just keep your eyes peeled when you get out of the basement, if you catch my drift.
Excuse me.
I don't follow. Oh, you'll know it when you see it.
The princess reaches the top of the stairs and crosses over the
Oh
threshold,
no.
turning back to
Because
smile
the
at
knife
you.
is there.
But something catches her eye. Oh no.
Oh no? It's the blade, isn't it? I was going to tell you to grab it once we got upstairs. That was the whole keep your eyes peeled thing, and then you would have stabbed her in the back and we would have been winners.
I wonder if perhaps you were planning to bury this in my back. What an awful little scheme that would be. Too bad I got here first, and I don't even need it. Bye-bye, you loathsome little nuisance.
Then she slams the door on you. Its lock swiftly clicks into place.
Locked in the basement, I thought for sure she was just going to stab us.
The princess cackles from the other side of the door.
Well, this is new.
How does it feel to be locked away and forgotten by the world? Isn't it just awful?
Try the door.
You try the door. It's locked.
Okay, fine. You got me. Very funny. Can you let me out now?
No, you're going to sit down there forever, languishing.
Please let me out. I promise I won't be mad.
As if I could ever trust you after everything you've done to me. And after what I've done to you, you can't trust me either. Neither of us is ever getting out of here. It's in our nature to be trapped.
I thought you needed me to get out.
I do, but I just couldn't help myself. And we both know that you're already scheming about how to get back at me if I ever open this door. So we're going to stay exactly as we are right now, for as long as either of us lives.
Force the
You
door.
throw yourself against the door. It won't budge.
Okay, what happens now? I'm stuck here.
Why isn't he saying anything? I think he's gone.
Oh, I didn't think I'd ever have to see you face to face again. Otherwise, I might have given you a little more courtesy at the top of the stairs. No hard feelings, I'm sure. Why is everything going away? I feel cold.
Oh, there go the hands. But you don't get a chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
As they do. As they do. Approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
Final.
If he thinks it's bad, I'm with him.
The voices feel small, distant as you approach. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. We're unraveled. find yourself alone quiet once again. You're at the cabin.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
Is that a rhetorical question? Do you know? Do you want to tell me?
Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces, and I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me, short and violent and full of passion. But all of those flickers end where the long quiet begins. I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know what we'll find out there?
There's trees and stars, and there are people, I think. At least there's supposed to be people.
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
Do you know what's going to happen when you awaken?
If I did, I would already be awake.
You got distracted, Miss Floofy Tail Princess. Floofy Tail Princess locked us into the basement. When you send me back, I'm not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me, but some of them are something else. I call him the narrator, and he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Have the vessels had one?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
He does, and when I find him, you and I are finally going to have some answers.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
One. Whatever
One
you
more
bring
vessel.
me next will be enough. And then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular. A final multitude.
Well, alright. End game
The
time.
next
Here we
time I
go.
see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
You're on a path. You're here.
Skipping ahead.
You make your way up the The interior of the cabin is the blade is your implement.
I'll take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slip. The door to the basement, her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Continue down the stairs.
You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out.
Don't you dare.
It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you Scared of me? Because you should be.
A little
You
bit.
step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Slay the princess.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through.
Yeah, princess dominatrix.
A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw.
Hate when that happens.
It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
We can only do the choice to give up. The other ones are grayed out.
Are you serious? As internal bleeding sets in, the blade falls from your trembling hands, clattering to the ground uselessly. You lacked the will to finish the job, your bruised and broken body falling to its knees before her.
I'm guessing there may be a mod somewhere to replace Princess's face with Lady D. I mean, maybe.
The princess, exhausted, chest heaving with heavy breaths, tosses the blade away from you.
This is the end, isn't it?
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She plants her foot on your chest and
Ouch.
pushes you onto your back, the air leaving your lungs in a heavy puff. And then she brings her knee to your throat. She leans into it with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess, shattering your windpipe and leaving you starved for breath.
Harder, princess.
It's too bad. I was looking forward to some company.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, the tower.
You're on a path. You're here to slay her.
Proceed.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie. She will...
We might as well just
The voice of the
pledge
broken.
ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us.
Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic.
You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter.
Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
The interior of the cabin is
Oh, it looks
larger
different
and
again.
more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small?
We don't feel small. We are small.
Size doesn't matter.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase, its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below.
Ooh, incense.
For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
This is actually kind of nice.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
Witness you.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
Down the staircase, do. Down the staircase, do.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
Or was that more of a do? Oh, making it. Okay. I gotcha.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
No.
As if on command, the blade slips from your
I
grasp.
said no.
It clatters uselessly to the floor. But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us?
I don't know, Freya. I don't know.
I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade. Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
But we're already short. No.
Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
Yes, madam.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you tried to kill me. And here you are again, trying to succeed where you've already catastrophically failed.
Yes, goddess.
What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met, nobody should have met her before this. You should be the first. You're the only one I'd trust to deal with her.
Then you shouldn't have trusted us. There was nothing we could do to stop her then. And there's nothing we can do to stop her now.
He's being melodramatic, but yeah, we've been here before, and she absolutely destroyed us. What are we even supposed to do to stop her?
Probably quite a few.
That's worrying. Whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any ideas.
Do you think holding shut your beak is enough to stop me from prying it open? Do you think your skull can save your thoughts from being seen? You're less broken than I thought. Perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters.
You do a sound of your distorted voice going, new fetish unlocked.
Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she wants. No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade.
As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits
She's
unperceived
gonna make
by
me
your
stab
senses,
myself, isn't she?
but that manages.
Oh. Pick up the blade.
You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad.
Yes, goddess.
Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably going to stand anyway.
You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
Speaking of needles, you had to prick your finger twice to get your blood sugar level because you're a little nauseated. I was curious if it was due to the cake you had earlier. But yeah, I kept getting an error because you weren't getting enough blood into the stick thingy. Oh no.
To define me is to claim we stand
That is a
on
big
level
bag of
ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance.
That is a big bag of nope. You just sent me the sound clip. Perfect.
Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
I don't want to slit my own throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward.
And then this. Okay, end this.
Oh, we'll end this all right.
Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her.
A
Would you
few
kindly
moments
slit
later.
your own throat, yes. Oh, I got the choice. I got the choice. Ah! I mean, we have to slay the princess, right? Slay the princess.
Your body is sluggish and unresponsive, actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson. Plunge that knife into your lungs.
I'm sorry.
Don't! As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility. Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice.
Blech.
Blood fills your lungs.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have to listen to her.
I feel like I do.
It's what she wants.
You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it. Your other hand locks around your wrist, struggling to keep it from perforating vital organs. But the blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you. Despite the pain, you manage to keep yourself in one piece, at least for now.
I think it is. I really think it is.
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird thinking it can defy a god. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next. Or you can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement.
You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand.
My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. But Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will.
You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just doing what she has to.
Stop.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to me. You are different than you were before. Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death. There's a place at my side for you, if you'll have it. Not as an equal, but as something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Meow.
Well, that's the meaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her.
It's a mercy. Take it.
I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this. At least one of you is sane. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment before it's too late.
Slay the princess!
No.
Yes, though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react.
I don't know how we're darting with all those holes in us, but you know, dart we shall.
The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you channel it into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance. She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. But you don't give her any time to recover. Your heart pounding with determination, you plunge your blade into her chest. As you find your target again and again, she laughs, crude emotion breaking through her once stony composure as your blade cuts her flesh. We can do this, can't we?
Death!
You always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
Shut up.
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You
heathen! You worm! You defiler! You don't know the consequences of your arrogance!
Before you can strike the final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet. There's an unsettling wet pop as your spine breaks, numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, she drives her fist into your chest.
Heathen worm defiler areas? Yes, just talking about you. Just kidding.
Your body is crushed as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the impact.
You prefer like 15 minutes ago, right?
You lie there, broken, beyond pain, unable to even see what she's done to you. But the princess is succumbing to her own wounds as well. She looks down upon her body in abject horror and disgust.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
You're monsters and conspirators. I can't bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
But I don't feel liberated.
Aside from the pain, I feel fine. She collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear, as the two of you perish together.
Oh, we're dying together. How romantic. You don't name cats. You just call them things and hope they answer.
I suppose we were never gonna get a happy ending here, were we?
Don't let those be your final thoughts. You saved the world. That's worth something. I guess. Regardless of how you feel about it, it's finally over. Thank you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 3, The Fury.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of the path... Okay, what the hell is that?
I think he's upset.
And what's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god.
It's the Freya chapter because it's Freya's Fury. I love it.
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever was, and ever will be.
You're damn right we did. You'll get over it.
Sure, that's why it's your chapter. I mean, maybe.
Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us and you almost got us killed.
You're being too generous. He did get us killed.
Alright, enough chatter. Got a thing I'm supposed to do, and if you don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions. Okay, great, you're listening. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, if your thing is telling us about the princess, don't waste your breath. We know all about her. It's hardly a path in the woods at this point, is it? But this is just great. Let me cut to the chase. Clearly you've already been here. Yeah, you think?
Actually, I don't think we have been here. This is all different, isn't it?
Yes, precisely. And if you'd given me 2 seconds to finish my thought, I would have said that. Oh, you're actually letting me talk now. Great. If you've already been here, it means you've seen things you aren't supposed to have seen, and you know things that you aren't supposed to know. This doesn't look like a path in the woods if reality seems distorted. It's because reality is distorted. So you knew this could happen. You knew we'd be able to restart like this. I know all sorts of things, which is why you should listen to me. That's not really an answer. Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously.
Okay.
Good, we're all on the same page. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within, as I'm sure you already know. End her. That's it? No final words of advice? I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard.
If there's still a princess at the cabin, maybe we can salvage things. Maybe if we just grovel and apologize, things can go back to how they were before.
Oh, cut it out, will you? We need to be tough right now, and you're making it so much harder than it has to be, so stop whining. The interior of the cabin
this
is a
looks
place
lovely.
that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat.
I love me some viscous fluid.
That's horrible. You did this. The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge.
And we're not going to mention the mirror that's blocking the doorway.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the pedestal. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Nothing feels better than gripping cold steel. You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. Almost as if you don't see it. But you must, because it's right there in front of you. All we see is a damn mirror.
It's a bit grimy.
Why don't we wipe it clean?
Wipe what clean? The door?
The mirror.
What are you talking about? You're standing in front of a door. Whatever non-door thing you think you're looking at, it isn't real, because if it were real, I'd know about it.
But it has to be real. It's right. Smash it. Smash it to pieces. It's the only thing keeping us from her. Don't you want to know what we'll see in there? We won't be able to see anything if we smash it.
Nah, I'm with him on this one. So do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter, aside from wasting dangerous amounts of time.
Oh, let's wipe it
You
clean.
reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead.
Why am I not surprised?
You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high-vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odor an oppressive violence, the metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
Was severing the tendons of my ascension not enough for you? Was it not enough to rend my divine heart? Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat.
Kinky.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you? You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good.
She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination, and we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Whatever she is now is our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
It doesn't matter what we are. She needs slaying, and we've got the means to do it, so let's get a move on. If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here, and it's why your task is so important. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are
Napalm? I
painted
can
in
get
blood,
napalm?
a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone.
Well, she looks cute. Yeah, napalm would come in handy here.
The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do?
You do not like your chapter. Me either, Freya. Me either.
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. And then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears.
Blah.
It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose, and she is coming for you.
Let her end it. It's the punishment you all deserve for what you did to her. It's the punishment I deserve for letting it happen.
Screw that. We can win. We've done it before, and we'll do it again, only this time we'll make it out the other side. Hell, she's practically done most of the work for us.
What happened to you?
Time happened. You happened. But none of that matters. We're together again, and I'll have my pound of flesh.
She bounds across the room, her fists ready, her heart set upon your destruction. With a horrifying
Oh!
splash, you are unwound.
Oh!
I hope you weren't planning on dying. We're going to make this last forever. Huh.
I feel cold. I've never felt cold before.
Oh good, the hands got her. Bah. True to her word, you do not die by her hand, nor will you ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory returns. Back into the butthole.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Just approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
I don't want to look at us.
The voices small, distant as you approach. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You are nothing at all. But that isn't right. You can't be nothing. You refocus your gaze, and then you see it. A figure faint and veiled in shadow just beyond the reflection. Is that a bird? It looks like a bird. Are you me?
I think you know what I am.
Crack slides down the center of the mirror, splitting the image and the glass in two. And then another crack forms, and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass. So you're the narrator? I was wondering if I'd ever get to see you.
The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
What are you? Are you something like me?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I am an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
Others like you? You've said something like that before. Has every narrator really been different?
Of course. That is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon. And then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
Every time I ask you something, it's like a piece of you breaks.
I'm aware. And if I were you, I'd be more precious about your time.
So you do know about the looping. So many of the times I met you, you denied it as even being a possibility. Why did you lie to me?
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. For all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me. I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
I wasn't supposed to see all this, was I?
You were either going to have seen all this, or you weren't going to have seen all this. This is worse, but you still have an opportunity to save the world. You can still slay her.
people out there beyond the walls of the construct, do they know about this? Do they know what you want me to do to them?
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end.
And what is my true identity?
You're the Long Quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
I'm the Long Quiet?
Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering.
Why would you want to rid the world of death?
If you need to ask that question, there's nothing I can say to move you. You haven't died. You cannot die. So you cannot grasp the abject horror of dying.
We're just gonna say nothing and watch him in.
I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
As the final fragment of the glass shatters, you see yourself with newfound clarity. The narrator was right. You are the Long Quiet, a vast and nascent god, and it is finally time for you to wake up. All of this is you. Proceed to the cabin one last time. When you arrive at the heart of things, there is no final vessel for you to bear witness to. There is nothing for you to find. Pretty sure it's better to burn out than fade away, probably. What was that?
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
It really is. I've missed you too. She unfurls an endless cascade of smiles in response, and then patiently waits for you to continue. Do you know about the echo? Did you hear our conversation?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
I'm the Long Quiet, but I don't really know what that means.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the Shifting Mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
No comment. What happens now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
There has to be another way. This can't just come down to me either destroying you or letting you out. I won't do it.
If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
Uh-oh. What was that?
What is
What?
a person? Is it their body? Is it all of their body? Pluck the eyes, peel the skin, strip the tendons, mince the meat, grind the bones. When it is all gone, do you still have who you started with?
A miserable little pile of secrets.
A person is not a body. Death is a transformation into something new. It is only bodies that feel it.
I don't fear death, not anymore.
If you do not fear it, then there is no need for you to struggle against it. Let go. Leave with me.
A trick behind your back and a trick behind mine. We dance, revolving and revolving around each other, but forever stuck in place. We both move, and yet we both don't, for each of us watches the other instead of ourselves. But forever is not forever. You let me move, and I slam the door. But that is not the end, and both of us must face our partner once again. The barbs twist deeper, but they do not have to. To change is to hold the potential to rise above. Would you limit yourself to what you are now? Or would you like to see what you might become tomorrow?
Hashtag forever is not forever. I get it. There's no need for us to keep fighting. I'll leave with you. I just don't know how. Oh wait, no, that's stop the fight early and surrender. Ooh, ooh. We'll just remain silent.
But you say nothing.
Brutality splashes you against the walls, but with stubborn defiance you rise again. And with the dance of our conflict, I was brought somewhere new. Without you, my world would have been so small. Do you remember the moment of your triumph? Do you remember the feeling of your blade finally cutting me down? My defeat was a gift. Without obstacles to overcome, we stagnate into nothing.
And we've both grown from it, haven't we?
We have. Look at what we are now, and see how small we were then. Your little hair strikes a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me, and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever, consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
Hey, princess, you know about those bridges? Yeah, huh? I was blinded by emotion. We both know that.
We were both taken by the moment. It was how things are meant to be.
Fear pretends to protect us from loss. To fear death protects from losing a body. To fear ruin protects from losing status. To fear rejection protects from being known. But losing a body is contained within having a body. Losing status is contained within having status. Being known is contained within being conscious. It is in the nature of all things to transform, to go from known to hidden to known again. But when the ceaseless impermanence of all things strips away the finality of endings, what remains of fear? Is it a shelter protecting you from itself? Or is it a shelter protecting itself from you? You took fear by the hand and walked with it into the unknown, and through that, you feared nothing.
That wasn't a rejection of fear. You broke me to your will.
Were you afraid when you stepped through that door? Or were you enticed by what might come next? By what might lie beyond fear? By what you might become? You say I broke you, but was that curiosity not freedom of its own?
As the clash between you abates, you begin to shake, your will rapidly dissolving.
Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
Alright. I have to fight for a better world. I'm so sorry. Slay the princess.
Even now you think you can destroy me. If it takes all of eternity to break your delusion, I will still break it.
You don't have to face her alone.
Thought the voices weren't allowed
Apparently
here.
that's not true, but we can worry about it later. You'll never be able to strike a decisive blow from out here. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Then let's go. And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things?
Is it just you and me? Did anyone else make it to the cabin?
It's just us. I think the rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her.
Alright, take the blade.
That's probably for the best. It's always seemed to give us more options than not.
Into the basement.
The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
We both know why you're here. You don't have to draw it out for my sake.
It sounded just like that. A little sharp, a little menacing. Only she didn't know us. And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
And there you are, knife in hand. That sight brings me back. You're going to do it then, aren't you? You're really going to kill me. You'll have all of eternity to yourself after this. Why don't we chat a little before I go?
Alright, I'll sit with her for a minute. We'll do this. I don't think I ever really wanted to slay you, but I don't like what your existence means for the world.
Well, I don't want to be at the end of that knife, so how about we figure something out? What if we tried doing this forever? I can do whatever you think I can, right? So, make me put it all back. Make me fix the Echo's construct and make me wipe our memories of everything that's happened. Make me send us back to the beginning, before we woke up. Before either of us saw the truth.
Can she really do that? Are you sure that's what you want?
Would resetting it do anything to help them, the people out there? If you continue to exist, don't they continue to die and suffer?
Fixing that is on you, not me. If you want me to help them, you'll have to make me help them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
You and me both. Whatever world you want to build without me, I hope it works out. Despite our differences, I've always loved you, and I wish you nothing but the best.
You blink, and the princess is gone. All you have left of her is a small, melancholic weight that sits at the borders of your heart. Whatever action brought you and the princess into being was rough and jagged and left each of you with a piece of the other. By destroying her once and for all, you also destroyed a part of yourself. But the world hasn't ended, things continue on.
She's gone. And I don't think she's coming back.
No, she's not. A small part of her is with us.
Is that a metaphor, or are you being literal? It doesn't matter, we don't need to linger down here anymore. Let's get going.
You leave the basement behind. Then the stairs. And then you leave the cabin itself.
It's quiet here.
The path and the woods outside are an empty canvas, but there is even more to see beyond the place. The fruits of your labor, a world free from death. The body of an ancient creature stirs from its hibernation, and you feel a sensation in limbs you once couldn't fathom. Everything is here. Everything here is you. You feel your wings spanning a cosmic scale, but twisted and crumpled and bound in agonizing tension to a finite plane. You feel the glass of the construct pressing in on you, confining you across infinite sides and infinite angles. You push back and strain against it, but it does not yield.
He's gone. She's gone. No one is left to trap us here but us.
Open your heart and bear witness to your new kingdom. All at once, the unyielding tension gives way. And then the shattering. You are free, and before you lies the endless expanse of absolute reality. A new absolute reality, one forged by your will and by a long and arduous cycle of bloodshed that has stained your hands countless times over. But there will be no more bloodshed in this new world.
I knew we'd finally see it through. All it takes to be a winner is grit and determination.
We really did win, didn't we? We're the house now. We get to make the rules. This is nice. No more hunting. No more running. Just us. And whatever's out there. The whispering, and the coercion, and the bickering. Everything horrible about being alive has stopped. I could get used to this.
That wasn't very hard at all. Speak for yourself.
Well, boys, how does it feel? We're not just on top of the pecking order, we are the pecking order now.
I hope this was all worth it, because I'm personally inconsolable.
Time mends a lot of things. You'll get better.
Hear, hear, to our vanquished foe.
Well then, I guess the only thing left to do is figure out what happens next.
We did it! We slayed it! Yay! That was weird. I mean, I liked it, but that was weird. Yay! Thank you so much for playing. As an expression of our gratitude, here's the track order for a special playlist just for you. Okay. Well, that's nice. I don't want to explore. I just want to return to the main menu. Yay, we did it! That was all kinds of odd. But I'm kind of okay with it being all kinds of odd. But I appreciate you all being here, and I will see you on Thursday. Have a good night.